KB experiment.
What's going on, everybody? It's Borris. I'm back. The KB experiment. So, I'm sitting here recording in my closet because it's quiet. My kids, they won't find me. They'll smell me, and then they'll find me, but I took a shower, so hopefully that hides the scent. Oh boy, so what are we going to talk about today? I want to talk about life. Life. I had a long conversation with my son last night, 13 years old, about life, about decisions that you make and how they affect the future. Every action has a consequence. We know all that, but I wanted to sit down and really talk to him about it and explain to him my side of, my experience with that process, with that formula. A lot of people, again, don't know me from the past, but the ones that do, I was a bad boy. I didn't hurt anybody, but I did the things that you do when you live in an urban setting, and got into trouble with the law, with other people, things of that nature. There came a point where I sat down, something happened, and I was going to go to jail. And I sat there, and of course it bothered me, but at the same time, it's like, all right, I did what I did. It's time to deal with it. And that didn't bother me as much as seeing my mom look like she was going to have a heart attack, crying, praying to God. How our Spanish mothers are, praying, and it didn't look good. And that, I think I was about 19, and that was the second time I really got in trouble. The first time I was under 18, but I always remember that 3 strikes you're out rule. And I'm like, all right, well, this is number 2. So I got a choice to make. Luckily, I didn't get arrested that day. By the grace of the universe, man, when I tell you I'm a lucky person, I'm lucky. No doubt. But I didn't go to jail. Nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. But for like 3 months, I had this weight on my chest, like, what's going to happen? Because I didn't know until just time passed and it all went away. But I made a conscious decision to say, you know what? I need to change my life. And until I made that decision, like I've said it before, but there comes a time when you really say it and you mean it. You're like, yo, this shit has to change. It has to. And I'm lucky I did. I don't want to give it all to luck, because it was a conscious effort that I made. So, my experience, my thought process, my mindset, all that played in. But, there's always luck involved. And I changed my ways, and some of the people that I was hanging with didn't, and this was, 20 years ago. And some of them aren't doing too well. Unfortunately, I talked to a friend that, he's a felon. He's been in prison for, 8-9 years, I forget. Got out, now he's suffering the consequences of that. But at the same time, I have another friend who also went to prison, also is a felon, has a record, but he has a multi-million-dollar company that he built. Of course, would help, but the point is that you have 2 individuals that pretty much have similar stories. One decided to do something about it when he got out. He is where he is today, and I'm seeking him for advice and help, and trying to grow as well. But my other friend, he's not doing well at all. And I'm the type of person, I'm gonna try to help. Period. I'm gonna help you one way or another, whatever I can. And I tried, and it's been a long few weeks, trying to pull him off of this ledge, but I just can't do it. And he's tried, and we've had conversations about this, and he appreciates the fact that I care and that I'm trying and willing and able. But he said it's too late. It's too late for me, Boris. It's done. I have nothing left in this life. I have nothing to fight for. And, that just put me in a state like, wow. I grew up with this kid. We did the same things, but I said, no, I'm done. I ain't doing it anymore. And he did. And he's paying for it. Other friend, he's getting paid very well. He's doing well. He's in a good mindset. So it's important to realize all these things. And I wanted to come on here and tell these stories because I don't know what you guys are going through, because everybody has their story. Everybody has their version of life. But sometimes you think that you're stuck in your own version. You don't realize that there's millions doing, feeling, acting the same way you are, because we're all human. So I realized too that it's all about mindset, where you put yourself mentally. So I can sit here and really hone in on that moment, that day, when I decided to make the change, how hard it was to make the change, the friends that I lost, that was associated with that change. 20 years later, I'm still best friends with, my friend that is a business partner of mine, and we went through all kinds of shit, man. When I tell you all kinds of shit, up, down, left, right, we've been through war together. We've been through the good, the bad, the ugly. But you know what? We made it out. And a lot of people don't know that terminology, made it out. He made it out. We both lived in the same area in Elizabeth. We lived in the grime. It is what it is. But we left that, saw more opportunities, and made something better of our lives. Not just by luck, by choice. By realizing the things that we're going through are not going the way they're supposed to, or you have to be conscious of what's going on in your life. You can't just sit back and, just not pay attention to what's going on, not be there, because then shit happens, and then, oh my God, what happened? 40 years later, then you figure it out. It's hard to see people. Not that I figured everything out, because I did it. I'm still human. I still got my struggles. I'm still, I battle myself every day. Sometimes I put myself down, but I've learned how to bring myself back up, which took many years of practice. I talk to myself a lot, and this is why I said I need to do this podcast now, because I was self-coaching, whatever you want to call it. Just telling myself, Borris, come on, bro, pick yourself up. This ain't nothing right now. You've been through worse. You've been here before. You've done the same things. There's no evidence in my life of failure to the extent of me being homeless, hungry, not having what I need. I've always had it, regardless of the situation. And that means, even still being poor when I was younger and not having enough for what I wanted, but I had enough for what I needed. So I said, okay, Borris, pick yourself up. Stop with this bullshit. You know what you're capable of. So here I am. I said, fuck it. I'm gonna make this podcast, because I've had this conversation so many times, and the feedback that I get, the faces of the people that I talk to, and how important it feels and seems and is. So I want to just tell the world, this is what podcasting is, right? I can talk about whatever I want. Whoever wants to listen can listen. And I hope the right ones are listening. I hope the ones that need this are listening. There's a lot of people that are way more advanced, and, you can go back and forth about that all day. At the end of the day, I made a conscious choice to make change in my life. I'm doing 1,000 times better than I was 7 years ago. It's amazing, but I don't always realize that. And I beat myself up about certain things, and, again, that's normal. And I created my own process to get out of that slump a lot faster. It used to take me months, weeks. Now it takes me hours, or if not a day or two, to really coach myself back. But I still have my struggles. I'm getting fatter. I feel like dog shit. And I'll reach out to certain people that I see that are older than me, that are doing what I want to do. And you know what? I'll talk to them, and I say, hey, I want to do something. Obviously, I don't want it bad enough, because I'm not doing it. I want to work out. I want to eat healthy. I need another 60 years of life. But what I'm doing right now, to myself, is not. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna get there. But it's all about that mental fortitude, and that's what I told my son. I said, listen, the choices you make now will affect you in the future. Period. Point blank. we don't want to get on top of you because we're assholes and we want to be dictators and we want to rule your life. No, man, it's because we love you. We want you, and you know this conversation, we want you to learn something more than just video games and us being angry. We want to prepare you for life, because that's what parents are supposed to do. Prepare their children for life, because we know that world out there got no feelings. It'll eat you up, throw you out. We know that. So I'm conscious of the fact that I can plant seeds in my children's heads, because there's things that you always remember. Miss Hirsch in fourth grade always told me, a stupid question is a question not asked. I still say that. This was in fourth grade, 30 years ago. But it resonates to this day. So she planted the seed. There's many of them. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start planting these seeds in my son's head. Like, he says, oh, this is hard. I'm like, nothing's hard. If I hit you with this table, it's going to hurt because it's hard. The situation you're in is difficult. Until you learn it, it becomes easy. And that's it. The hardest part is getting through it, learning it. Once you learn it and master it, it's easy. It's just fact to me. It's a fact. So I don't want to hear this is hard. I'm going to hit you with something and say, that's hard. You tell me the difference. But hopefully, when he's older, my kids are older, they're going to go, oh man, this ain't hard. I just got to learn it. I just got to take the time. I got to put the work in. I had to explain to him what putting in work means. Putting in the work, brother. You got to sit down and do your work, whatever it is. Nothing comes to life just by chance. Very little, let me say that. Luck, you win the lotto, things like that. But, put in the work, man. You want to have a good senior year? Rack up all these classes, take what you can, do it through the summer, fuck it. But when senior year comes around and you get off at 12 because you don't have nothing else to do and all your courses are met, you're gonna chill. He's gonna have a car, go out with your girls, drive around, have a sandwich. I mean, that's life. But you know what? All your friends are gonna be like, damn, yo, how come he could do that? Because he put in the work. And that's the difference. You put in work, you put in work, you put in work. There's no secret sauce. There's no secret sauce. It's grimy, dirty, bottom of the barrel, burnt up, greasy sauce. Once you get through all that, you get through this nice little green valley and pastures, and then life can be better. But you gotta work at it. So I'm working at it now. I'm only 38. I used to think, man, I should be somewhere else in life. I should be much more advanced. But it takes time to go through these processes. I think that this is the first time in however many, decades and centuries that you see millionaires and billionaires that are under 30. Because normally, from my experience, when I worked in the luxury world, I had customers that were always 50 years and older, and that's when they finally made their first million. That's when they finally made their money. But with the internet, you got, it's speeded up. It has sped up the process of becoming wealthy and or rich. So there's a process, and I listen to everybody talk about what they talk about, and not every piece of advice obviously will be for you, because your life, your situation may be different. What Grant Cardone says, what Ty Lopez says works for them, but it may not work for you because of whatever circumstances, your filters in your mind and how you live your life. So does it work? Yes. If you were to just eliminate emotions and follow the process, yes, this shit works, period. But if you don't, which normally you don't, I don't, I have so much resources and access to things that I don't use. And then I want to complain to myself like, dude, what the fuck? You should be, nah, it's all my fault. I accept the responsibility that I fuck things up on my own, that I don't have the motivation and the drive and the energy to do what it is that I have to do. But that's my fault, nobody else. I can't blame nobody but me. So that's why I created King Borris. King Borris is the person that I want to be. And I've talked to my psychologist about this, and she goes, maybe that's, they try to throw a psychological spin on it. Like I'm downing I don't doubt myself as a personal person. I think that I have, my set of skills that are better than what other people can do, But King Borris is the model, the structure, like Todd Smith said in one of his posts. A sculpture looks at his his work of art. Well, no, he looks at it, says, you know what, I'm going to make some changes here, and he just does them with no emotion. He's just going to go do them and fix it, make it right. King Borris is that sculpture. And I'm chiseling away at the personal things in myself to become the King Borris that I'm destined to be. And I think that's a good formula. I read it last night when Todd put it up, and I said, you know what? I was like, I gotta kick myself in the butt and put some fire in my ass and kick, go. I know what I need to do. And I haven't been doing it in the last few months. But it's all good, It's all good because I realize it. And I'm making the effort. I don't give up. You're gonna have to kill me to give up. But guess what? It's commercial time. All right, so I get people from time to time asking me how I record my podcast. And I tell them it's simple. I do it on my phone, and I have a plug-in speaker. All I need is a quiet space and my phone. And it's free. They have all kinds of tools to help you do it, to edit, to cut, to ad-lib, whatever it is that you want. And once it's ready and you upload, Anchor has you all set up where you post it or upload the audio once or the episode, and it'll distribute it across other platforms like Spotify or podcasts or Apple Podcasts. And it does it all for you, which is pretty neat because sitting there trying to upload stuff forever takes forever. And you can make some money. So there's sponsorships, no minimum listenership. It's pretty darn easy. It's everything you need to make a podcast in your pocket. So go download the free Anchor app and go hit anchor.fm and get your podcast started. All right, well, I know I'm a nerd, but you know what? That's what makes me me. That's the real Borris. Singing and dancing, acting like a fool, but I think I'm funny, so I laugh at my own jokes. So to continue on, yeah, man, it was an interesting conversation with my son, and I'm trying to take my own advice as I self-coach and listen to myself speak. It's all in me, It's all my hustle, my struggle in my life, and I need to take control of it and continue taking control of it because I have. When I was 20 years old, maybe that's when I changed my life, and people and when I made that change, I either things in my life changed in a positive manner, and or I finally saw them, because they may have been there all the time and I just never paid attention because I was doing wrong. But this, resources landed on my lap. I started talking to people that were, above me in the sense of, had their shit together, and they taught me, they helped me, they showed me, we all need help. Number one, we're human. We all need help in one way or another, period. You can do it yourself, right? But how long is it going to take you to get to where you're going? Versus, putting yourself in a circle of people and or professionals, whatever you want to call it, to help you move ahead in what you're trying to do, whether it's in life and work, whatever. But one way or another, we all seek it. So why do we stop at a certain point and say, well, I don't need help with my mental health. I don't need help with this or my exercise. I got it. No, we don't. So I was always against talking to professionals, especially like a psychologist. So I don't need that shit, man. That's for crazy people. But you know what? The last year has been a bit of a roller coaster for me. And I realized, let me try this out. It's the best thing that I did because I learned a lot about myself. But I needed someone that really knows how to point things out a certain way, to point it out to me. I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for that. So that as we get older, we realize that all the stupid little things we think about are just that, stupid little things. Ego gets in the way. You don't want to do this and that because, somebody might look at me or say something. Who the hell cares what people think? I really don't give a shit what people think about me. I used to. But then I would say, I don't care. But I did. I'm human. Do I still care? Yeah. There's times that I do about certain things. But my confidence level, not cockiness, confidence is high enough for me to step out and say, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I'm going to execute. I'm going to get paid what I'm worth. So, but that takes time and effort, and it feels good to sit there and be like, yeah, I don't care what you have to say about me, or who do you think you are that you could talk to me that way? What makes you think that that's an acceptable form of communication, to talk to me like I'm some piece of shit? Because I've never done that to you. And that normally stops people in their tracks. I've said that to owners of companies, and you know, whether you believe me or not, doesn't matter. But I know that I've done it on multiple occasions where I've been reprimanded in a negative manner. You know how that boss is, get the fuck in my office. I'm like, I'm sorry, who are you talking to? I'm not your friend, I'm not your family, I'm your coworker. I've never talked to you that way. I would appreciate the same respect. I would say 90% of the time they go, you know what, you're right, I apologize. And they've treated me with respect. There was one guy who didn't. Long story, but that was a funny case. Ultimately, it's just something that I've learned to practice. I have confidence in me. I don't go to work to live my life at work. I go to work so I can live my life outside of work, if that makes sense. I go make my money, come home, and then live my life. Work is temporary. You know, I used to make it where I was trying to finish what I'm doing, but the work never stops. So what am I rushing for? You know, I didn't have deadlines, you know, like some people, but the whole point is that I sat back and said, you know what, I'm gonna be doing this. You hear me? I'm gonna be doing this for a long time. Work's not going away, so I better get comfortable, get used to it, or get uncomfortable and change it, whatever needs to happen. But it changed my perspective of how I handle my affairs, how I do what I do, and it's I think it's important, you know. This is stuff that I believe in, things that I've done in my life that have, in my eyes, you know, pushed me forward. You know, Joe Dispenza says, don't live in the past, live in the future. When you live in the past, your body's going to react to that. Our subconscious mind is going to always take over because it's stronger. It's hard to, we can't control it, you know, like we can, but we can't. That subconscious mind is what controls who we are. But we're the ones who feed that subconscious mind. We're the ones who plant those seeds. So we plant our own negative seeds, and then we just let them grow. No matter how long ago something happened, we let it grow. That's living in the past. I'm trying to live in the future, and it's a bit difficult. You know, I don't have the practice down yet, but I'm working on it. Visualizing where I want to be, what I want to do, what I want to drive. Sometimes I'll drive my Acura, and I don't close my eyes, but I picture I'm sitting in my Lamborghini. What it smells like, how it feels, the noise, you know, the sound that the exhaust makes, and I try to visualize it because I know I'm gonna have it. I want it, you know, not to show off, no, to have it. I like nice things, but I have to visualize it. I got to know that I'm capable of it. How are you going to spend $1 million if you can't spend $1,000 the proper way? Think about that. Somebody gave you $1 million now. Well, you had $100,000 and you spent it all. So what makes $1 million any different? You don't know how to manage it, so you're not ready for it. And that's my observation of life. You want to be somewhere, put yourself in that position. Act like as if it's real already, because your body resonates to that. You know, and you know, it's a crazy conversation to have, especially with a 13-year-old. But I could see in his eyes that he got it, or he was listening and he was digesting what I was saying. And then the next day I said, hey man, that was a good talk, man. I'm really glad we had that talk. And he's like, yeah, me too. Like we really had a talk. I was like, you really listen? So you get what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, I understand. Like he's turning into a man. I'm like, look at this little dude here. I used to clean his butt. Now he got a mustache, deep voice, hair in his legs. I'm like, damn, I made a human. He's turning into a man. But I got to get him ready for that world. Same thing. I got 2 daughters. I got to get them ready. But it's a process. If you're not right with yourself, how are you going to put somebody else in a right state? How? You know, you got to love yourself first before you love others. That's what they always say, but you don't realize it until you fall and see it's hard. Oh, that's bullshit. Or blah, 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 blah. No, when your time comes and you fall in that situation and then you think of it that way, okay, I get it. Like having a child. The ones that have children, I know I've told people, you don't know what it's like to have a child, like to really love someone, like die for them. Oh no, I got nephews and this. I was like, no, When you create a human, that's your human. And they'll come back after they have children. They're like, "Oh, you were right." We'll talk about that. It's a different feeling. You can't describe it. You can't explain it. At least for me, my whole life changed the moment my son came out. I was like, holy crap, I'm totally somebody else. And same thing with my daughters. So that's why, they're my motivation, of course. But I'm also my motivation. I can't just sit here and say they're everything to me. They are, but I still have my own life to live. I have to be right in order to be right for them and help them be right. So if I'm unhealthy, why would they be healthy? And I know that. Monkey see, monkey do. I can say it all I want, but if they don't see the action, it's not going to mean anything. So, I got to pick my shit up and do it. So, this is the way I talk, for real. Like, if you sat down and talked to me, this is literally me. I'm talking to you like we're face to face. And just what it is, I can be professional. Hello, sir. How can I help you? What can I do for you today? What is it that you need? Yes, I can help you with that. Thank you for coming in. How are you? All that stuff. But then the switch turns off. It's like, what's up, motherflower? Yeah, man. But yeah, I just wanted to, just had all this stuff on my mind. I said, you know what? My mentor said, just do it. Just get up and just start talking. And whatever comes. I wanted to have a guest on before I did the fourth episode, but fuck it. Here I go. I'm here. Let me put in my own plugs. I want you to go follow me on Instagram at king_Borris. I also have a line of CBD called Earth Sway. You can find that on Instagram, Earths_way as well. And in the link of the bio, you'll have, I have a whole store with all the products. I also have a media company. I do social media work, website, anything social media related. To grow, to reach, that's smgplus.com. All of that you can find in my bio on my King Borris website or the King Borris Instagram. And you know how that is. You gotta put in the plugs, put it all out there. And I want to give a shout out to Simple Man. I'm gonna put him in the link. It's a cool dude. Someone I met on Instagram. We've chopped it up back and forth. He sent me some products, and I gotta say, his oil, beard balm, and like all the stuff he sent, even for my wife, I love it. He sent my wife like this box with shampoos and conditioners and soaps, and I don't like to tell you something's good unless I know it's good, and I love Simple Man's products. I love their beard balm and their oil. It smells so fucking good. Love it. But anyway, I'm gonna tag him in there. Go follow him. But yeah, Simple Man, and that's it. Thanks for sitting here and hearing me talk to myself in my closet. I'm staring at a bunch of socks, but at least they're clean. All right, have a good one. Peace. Hey, if you're still around, thank you. Go to smgplus.com. It is a great way to grow your social media. Trust me, I know. And earthswaycbd.com. Support the cause. CBD. It's changed my life and other people that I know. So go over, buy some stuff, recommend some people. Affiliate program should be up. Let's all make money together, baby. All right.